So my name is Elke Bovensman, and I'm happy to present you today an overview about the BRIM learning training BR230, which is a BRIM overview. I'm in charge of the training landscape, and today this gives you an overview about the on-premise BRIM solution landscape. So here is my introduction. We first will have a view on the BRIM solution landscape. Then I have a lot of BRIM in industry examples, and we will have a view on the BRIM data model. All these slides belong to the training BRIM overview, which is BR230 collection 17, which will be published, I think, at the end of the month. At the moment, we have the training in a quality review to make sure that all exercises work. So at the moment, this is just an announcement, and you will not just find this material in the Learning Hub, but I think in a few weeks it will be available. First, before we go into the BRIM solution landscape, we may have to speak about the abbreviation. BRIM is the abbreviation for Billing and Revenue Innovation Management, which is BREM. And the Billing and Revenue Innovation Management includes a lot of pieces of functional modules, and also has included different SAP software components. Here we speak today about the on-premise part, but with the SAP Billing and Revenue Innovation Management, we also include already some cloud solutions. With the Billing and Revenue Innovation Management, we will have first a business model design where we can have different pricing configurations. This is especially the Billing and Revenue Innovation Management is especially usable for service products which do not have inventory goods like hardware. Hardware is still covered by sales and distribution because we have an introduction to material management as well. So, but we have also the possibility to model bundles, which also include sales distribution objects. But today we concentrate on subscriptions. And if you think about your daily life, you have subscriptions in a lot of different business contexts. You might have a fitness a subscription. You maybe have a streaming subscription. So subscriptions appear in a lot of daily life situations. But if we have a broader view on the also B2B processes that can be covered by SAP Billing and Revenue Innovation Management, we also are able to support parcel industry, transportation, and we are also able to handle railway solutions and so on. So we have these BRIM solution in a lot of different industries. And the reason is that the pricing configuration is very flexible. We have the possibility to add different attributes, and we are also able to support different pricing configurations. One example could be a payment in advance pricing model. We can introduce a lot of attributes into the pricing configuration. For example, if we are in the parcel industry, you have attributes like weight, distance, and so on that you need to enter in order to configure the price. So the very new aspect according to the subscription and order management is that we have an architecture change from the CRM. Before, the CRM was part of the solution, and we now move the whole functionality into S/4HANA service. And now we have one component less, and that makes this solution much more attractive. So we later have a view on the subscription and order management, which is now covered into S/4HANA Service. The third part of the functional solution is the usage metering and transaction pricing. We have a very high performant solution in place here. On the one hand side, we have convergent mediation system in place, which is offered by a partner, by Digital Route. This is a very strong solution in order to prepare the meter transactions that are coming from networks. For example, if you're in telecommunication industry, you have internet, telephone, mobile transactions that you need to make ready for pricing. So we have here two solution components behind that I will show in a later slide. And the second part is a rating component. The rating part is covered by SAP Convergent Charging. SAP Convergent Charging is very strong, has a lot of different objects and a very strong data model. This comes historically from the telecommunication industry, which has a lot of different price models. Also, prepaid models can be covered by convergent charging. We also have a very strong counter concepts to handle counters and different prepaid scenarios. Then we come again to the S4 solution. Billing, receivables, and collections is covered by financial contract accounting, which is FICA. This includes the component convergent invoicing and financial contract accounting for open item management. We are in this market with a software component, I think, since nearly 20 years. This is a very strong solution, which handles a very high performance industries like insurances, banking, and telecommunications, which have a very high load of the contract accounts and also open items. In the end, we are able, with a complete solution, with the billing and revenue innovation management, to handle also partner revenue share, because we have all in one solution, which means we are able to handle the partner contracts as well in the same solution as the revenues of the customers and partners, and therefore we are able to combine those. This is a high advantage because a lot of industry have partner revenue shares involved in their product model. Important is that with a lot of industries, also let's make an example, transportation. Before, a truck was only a truck and was sold out. Nowadays, a truck is something like a driving software component. You have a lot of software included in the truck, and you also offer with this technology a lot of services around the truck. That means we have a different approach nowadays, which tries to define the customer not only to sell a good to a customer, but to keep a contact to the customer in order to sell additional services. So we move from pure product sales to selling services and also out-based subscriptions. And therefore, we need to handle real-time usage-based services, also with the volumes behind. So we have a lot of industries, also the sales of medical equipment is one other example where we find the situation that our customers that before just produced materials want to additionally sell subscriptions to their customers. One additional example that you might know is also the sales of printer. Printing is also one example where we nowadays don't sell a printer anymore, but we sell subscriptions and usages of printers often. And with the billing and revenue innovation management, we have the scalability. We are able to either handle B2B processes, which are, according to the complexity, a bit lower, but have a very high volume. And we are also able to handle B2C processes because we are able to handle complexity and masses. And we also have different payment methods we are able to handle in this architecture, either prepaid or postpaid strategies. In invoicing and accounting processes, we have a high automation because we can parallelize mass processes. At the end of this presentation, I have some numbers for you in order to give you an impression what we can handle here. As I already mentioned, we are able to support multi-sided revenue models. This helps to include in the bundles also third-party products. A lot of customers decide to use BRIM because they are scalable to future volumes. Often you start with a simpler price model and with a low volume. But if you have a view on a lot of cloud products, you have kinds of thresholds where you have to control a lot of data streams according if the threshold level is met or not in order to have the pricing there. That means we have to handle in a lot of digital businesses high volumes, which is possible with the architecture of SAP BRIM. To give you an overview about the landscape, I have this slide here. We go now a bit according over the processes that are covered, and each box here is referred to a software component. So we start in our BRIM solution with a subscription and order management. We have as an additional software component by our partner, the conversion mediation. We have an additional component, the convergent charging, which is additionally an SAP product, but not included in the S/4HANA landscape. So the subscription order management and the convergent invoicing and financial customer care are on the same platform. And we have then altogether 3 components. It's important that we start with a customer and with the orders and contracts. So we speak here about subscription orders and subscription contracts. And we also have the product modeling in the subscription and order management part. And the product, we can include also sales distribution components. And we have the complete order capture process here. Could be possible that you include a hardware. If you have as an example maybe a mobile subscription contract, you buy a mobile as a hardware together with a subscription parts. You have maybe a flat fee that has to be paid monthly for your mobile. You might choose between a prepaid tariff or use a postpaid tariff. You might have different options in your product in order to select the prices. You can have maybe counter. That means you have 100 minutes per month paid in advance in your tariff. So all these different product models can be covered by billing and revenue innovation management. So the customer then has to be selected as a master data. The next step is then that you select your product, your mobile product, and you select different options that you can choose. Then the next step is that we create a subscription contract out of these subscription order. This is then the life cycle of the subscription contract. That is what we follow in our solution. And we then distribute this subscription contract into the whole landscape in order to have the service usage then, and in order to have this subscription contract ready for usage rating and pricing. So this is a starting point, and the life cycle of the subscription contract is the main process that we have to follow. In the end, we also have to track changes to the subscription contract, because if you change the tariff, for example, the usage will have different prices later. So the next step is then the collection of usage data in the environment. This is done by convergent mediation. There it could be possible that you have to prepare the usage data into the correct structure, to have it possible to do the rating and charging later, but it's also important to control duplicates in this context, because it might happen that the network is sending you doubles. The next step is then the convergent charging, which is doing the pricing and charging. We have the possibility to handle different models here. And then the next step is the convergent invoicing. We have the option to create the subscription monthly relevant fees out of billing plans in convergent invoicing, or the other possibility is also to create the monthly fees out of the convergent charging. The starting point in convergent invoicing is the so-called billable item, which also includes the relevant information for accounting, the price, and the tax classification, and also gives us a possibility to collect these billable items according to discounts that might be relevant. For example, you can have discounts that should be collected yearly on a base of the yearly billable item amounts. Additionally, for B2B cases, we have the possibility to have master agreements to collect, for example, in master agreements, a lot of subscription contracts together. For some industries, it's important to have the possibility of re-rating in case the pricing was not correct at the moment of the rating, or in telecommunication industry, late incomes of usages are often a problem. We have the correspondence management by open text, and we have in the end the possibility to do the open item management. The open items are stored in financial contract accounting, and we have then the incoming payment handling, dispute management, and collections. So to give you an overview, which of the components belongs to S/4HANA, I have this slide included here. We have the processes here as described before, and the software components are now this is called customer management, was an old name. It's now called SOM, subscription order management. Sorry for this, I have to correct this. but before this component belonged to CRM, and now we have this on S/4HANA. This makes it easier because we have the same platform for the master data, like the business partner, the contract accounts, and also the products. That means we have the reduced, have you reduced the whole solution by one component, by the CRM component. And this makes it for our customers much more attractive. Okay, now I have several industry examples in place to give you an idea why BRIM is a strong solution for different industries. And I want to point out where in these industries the complications of the processes are and how we solve this with BRIM. My first business example here is postal. There are real customers behind, but I have anonymized these customers. So our first example is a company, Parcel X is a postal company in North America, and Parcel X customers are B2B customers with a lot of customer hierarchies. For example, you can imagine we have an online shop in New York. We have another customer, which is a B2B customer, which delivers fresh food, or we have a postal shop somewhere. Amazon, for example, could be one customer as well. You can imagine that we have master agreements for those customer groups, and they can be easily realized in the BRIM solutions because we have the master agreements in the subscription and order management, and as well in the convergent invoicing. In this industry, we have a lot of configurable price models with a lot of industry-specific characteristics. For example, we have a surcharge, insurance, we have destination-relevant attributes, and we have to set up these industry-specific attributes in solution. This is easy, can be easily done because we have the possibility to add where customer includes those attributes, and we can set up our price models according to these attributes. We have as well fees, and the fees can depend on the delivery zones. This is no problem, and we have different dimensions of goods like weight, length, channels. We have different transportation possibilities via road or air freight, and depending on the customer, we have different service levels like tracking levels and so on. So we have a lot of customers that belong to postal industries, but postal is for me more or less a more traditional business, which, where I want to show you some more examples that have more a digital view on this. So I go maybe on with a high-tech example. We have here a digital example. This digital example is a soft and hard mix. I want to give this a name because we have a bundle structure here, and this is a multinational company in a high-tech industry with B2C and B2B businesses. What is their core business? They develop, manufacture, license, and supports and sells computer software and consumer electronic, personal computers, and related services. You may be on your own a customer of this, or our company is a customer of this customer. So what needs to be done with the software? We want to support here the business model transformation from a pure hardware vendor to a recurring revenue business model, because they normally don't want to sell the hardware or the consumer electronic anymore. They want to offer a service which includes also software services or maintenance services, and they want to change their pricing model to a revenue business model. So a lot of diverse technical data sources make it reasonable to use convergent mediation. They have introduced convergent mediation in order to improve the data quality, to have a clear control about the input that they get for their pricing. And additionally, we have with on-premise and also with the cloud solutions, the possibility to include SAP revenue accounting and recognition, which is an additional subledger in order to create the correct legally created accounting view on the operational revenue. So I want to describe the problem that is often included. Normally, you would maybe sell the hardware that is included here for a price of, let's say, 300 euros, because this is a pure worth of the hardware if you go in a shop and buy it. But because they want to sell you here a service, they don't offer the price of 300 euro here. They offer you the hardware, let's say, for 10 euro, but include a service into the bundle. That means the customer, from the operational view, seems to buy the hardware for a very low price, but behind we have the legal problem that it's not correct according to the revenue view of the hardware to say it has a worth of 10 euro. We have to reorganize according to the revenue view these prices. And that means we have to use the additional subledger revenue accounting and recognition for these examples. I go maybe back and have revenue another examples, which is a bit more traditional. We have railway operators as our customers, and the background is that they use the BRIM solution as a platform operator. We also have different other examples for platform operators. Our own software, SAP Ariba, is also built via BRIM, because we on our own as SAP use BRIM as a platform operating system. So what is the background? Railway X is an operating large railway net in Europe, for example. The company offers different tariff types for different customer groups. They have prepaid tariffs, subscription-based discounting, and so on. It's important to have a revenue sharing with other operating companies like local bus companies, local taxis, and other railway operating companies in other countries. For example, if you have a railway journey from Amsterdam to, for example, Italy to Rome, you cross different countries, and all these countries have as well railway nets in Europe, and you have to split your revenue according to the other platform operators. And this can be easily done by BRIM, because we have the possibility to have the other operator in the same system. Okay, these are at the moment 3 examples. I have another 4th example. This comes from the financial service industries, and we have here a credit card company as an example. The credit card company has B2B and B2C customers. You can imagine that they have a high volume transaction business model behind. You have a lot of transactions. The people pay more and more with credit cards instead of cash. So this is a growing industry. The financial service has following challenges. They have extreme high volume transactions and the number is growing. We have different parties involved. We have 3 until 4 shared partners involved. We have business customer with a negotiated master agreement. And we have also bonus tracking according to service miles and upgrades and downgrades of the service level. Here on the picture, I have just, you can just imagine what the transactions are. If a customer buys a good with a credit card, we have an original price, and then they are transacting between the bank customer and the bank dealer. We have charges for different transactions, and we have to handle different license fees according to the use of these credit card companies. So this is extremely complex according to the involved partners, and we have a very high volume transaction business here. We can have a view on the volume, for example. I've here just implemented according to the convergent invoicing part some numbers. To give you an idea, we have, for example, a bid, which is a billable item upload here, and we have the possibility to, I don't want to read these numbers, a volume of 1,000 million bits, and we have a throughput per second of half a million bits. So they have tested with our S/4HANA the whole process, and you find here a link where you can use a reference to those events. So that means they have a full throughput from the consumption items. They are doing the rating. Here they have just a short rating. They have the billable upload, which includes also the accounting information. They are aggregating it to billing. They are aggregating it, the prepaid, the prepared billing to the convergent invoicing. They are doing payment runs. They are doing running proposals and so on. So, and this all with a high number of 10 million business partners. This should just give you an overview and a reference if you need a reference to high volume numbers. I have extracted from the training the data model, because in the training we will do all steps in exercises. You can also have you will have a live access at the end of the month according to the training, and you can also run with a live access this training on your own, or you can participate in a classroom training. We will also have classroom trainings according to this training. And the first step is then in the exercises, which are all done via the Fiori Launchpad. The first step is that you create a subscription order with a product. And the product that we use in our training is a cloud selection service. This cloud selection service has a bit of complexity. In order to show different functionalities, we have the possibility to select an option, a service level option with a cloud selection service. You can have either, for example, pay as you go, which is the simplest tariff, because there are no free volumes included. And we have here the price for the bandwidth. You can also choose another option, which could be silver, and silver has a surcharge of €1,000 per month. By the way, the base subscription fee is 1,000 euro, and we create a subscription contract with a duration of 24 months. Additionally, we assign an IP address to this service as a technical reference. And we go with these cloud selection service through the whole process, which means we first create for our reference customer a subscription order with a cloud selection service. Out of this subscription order, we create a subscription contract. This subscription contract is then distributed in the landscape to SAP Convergent Charging. It's also distributed to FICA. And then the next step is that we have usage data, and we are doing rating and charging. We have in Convergent Charging the charge plan assigned and the different charges according to the different services. So we can do the rating and charging in Convergent Charging and get in the end the usage fee as billable items. We have the two options to have the billing plan either in Convergent Invoicing. We then create the monthly subscription fees in the exercise, which creates billable items with the price depending on the service level. We have here the base fee, the base recurring fee, and for the additional service option, we have the additional fee of 3,000 euro. As well, it's possible to have an activation fee coming out of the order or contract. And so we have the base for the process. We have all billable items here. And we then do with the billable items the first aggregation, which is the billing. In some kind, billing and invoicing are artificial terminologies because we are doing just a pre-aggregation for the invoicing with billing document, and the invoicing document then creates an additionally FICA documents for the open items, where we can then assign the incoming payment to the open items. In case we have to do a clarification, we can also have dispute cases. This is just the overview about the data model. Of course, in a 2 days training, we can go deeper into the steps and have the deep view in the exercises on these different data objects. But it might help you to assign the functions to the component, to the solution components. Okay, so in the end, with BRIM, we have support for multi-sided business models, and the business relationships are often bidirectional. We have the possibility to handle revenue shared models, and we are able to handle partner payments depending on the customer payments, to have different risk categories here. And most customers extremely reduce their efforts on a long time. And there are much more examples that we can have according to industries. So, okay.